Imam Vivasvate yogam Proktavan hamagayam Vivasvān manave praha Manu Ikṣvāku abravīt. Anybody else needs Kannada? Now, this is the 4th chapter. At the end of the 3rd chapter, we know Krishna says that we can overcome the lower self by the higher self. And this was the whole essence of the message. That you can know ourselves to be transcendental. Gave the famous shloka. What is the shloka? Indriyani parani ahu eva paramamana manasa suparamute yomute parasata samhara. More important than the body and the senses, more important than the senses and the mind, more important than the mind and the intelligence, and then more important than the intelligence and the soul. And by knowing transcendental knowledge, we can, save ourselves. Because Arjuna's question was, why is it that we do sinful activity even though we don't want to? So Krishna says, yes, because of Rajoguna, it's all happiness. And Kamesha, Krodesha, and your senses can be controlled by the mind, mind can be controlled by the intelligence, intelligence can be controlled by the soul. Now when you come out of the knowledge of mind, senses, everything, that is material. But knowledge of the soul is transcendental. Okay? So now comes the topic of transcendental knowledge. It's going in a logical sequence. So Krishna opens the chapter. What is the knowledge of the soul and the Lord and the relation? This is the knowledge that comes in the chapter. Krishna says, this knowledge, transcendental knowledge, I taught to Sun God previously. Imam Vivasvāte yoga. Okay? And then what happened next? I taught to Sun God, and then he taught to his son Manu, that is, this is Vivasvān, and Vivasvān gave to his son, which is this Manu referred to here. Vivasvāta Manu. Our Manu. This is our Manu Krishna is talking about. This is the present situation. Say Manu. Manu's life is very big. Say Manu was there, his life is 300 million years. So he was there at the time of Lord Krishna. He was there at the time of Lord Rama also. Big life. So Vivasvān taught to his son Vivasvāta Manu, the father of mankind, yes. And in turn instructed it to Ikṣvāku. And Ikṣvāku is the one who started the Surya Vamsha on earth. That's how it is. And what is the time scale? This is all fantastic. It Prabhupada quotes from scriptures that the Manu to Ikṣvāku, it happened in the beginning of Treta Yuga. That is around 2 million years from now, because Treta Yuga is 8 million years. See, Kali Yuga is 4. So we are at the beginning of it. Roughly beginning. Kali Yuga is beginning of it. Dwapara Yuga is double of that. That is 8 lakhs. And Treta Yuga is triple of that. 3 means 3. Right? Kali Yuga is 4 lakh units, roughly. Dwapara 4,32,000 to be exact. And Dwapara Yuga is double of that. And Treta Yuga is triple of that. So you take 4 lakh, double 8 lakh and 12 lakh. So 20 lakhs, 2 million years ago, this knowledge has come on earth. Present day, it has been coming again and again. And then this knowledge was, Sun God learned this knowledge, and again that is analyzed from the scriptures. Sun God learned this when he was brahmachari, before he gave birth to Manu. Now Manu's life already of 300 million years, he has passed only 120 million years. So 120 million years ago, he taught it to Sun God. Okay, this is what happened. And then Krishna says something very important actually. The shloka also, we should first and second we can do. Actually, there are first few set of shlokas, all we should remember. Evam parampara praptam imam rajashayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yoganashta parampara. Now Krishna is saying This knowledge has come by parampara. It's very important. You cannot just, transcendent knowledge is such, it is beyond any defect. And you take it, surrender to it. Correct? It's a descending knowledge. You can try to understand it as far as all intelligence allows. You can question a teacher and that's fine. But we are not looking for any other source of knowledge. We are looking this as an absolute source. Therefore, you have to be very careful whenever you hear who is speaking. As far as it comes to transcendental knowledge, you cannot open Asa TV and learn. You learn rubbish. All nonsense you will learn. Mostly TV people today learn spiritual. They open TV and whoever is speaking, chalta hai. You are spoiling your spiritual life. Even a single doubt can destroy all your spiritual life. They were probably used to, when I was in America and Prabhupada was not well. So he said, I will go back to Delhi, or some people recommended, you can go for some medical treatment, all these things. Prabhupada did not have much faith in allopathy. And actually he was more, we can say, naturopathy. He said, this country is very cold. I'm not used to this climate. This is what making me sick actually. I'll go to India. He has lived whole his life in India, 70 years. Okay? I'll be in Vrindavan, in the natural sunlight of Vrindavan, and I'll recover myself. That's why actually Prabhupada came. You see, it's very important. A man today may go for a big, huge medical treatment. Okay? Prabhupada more was for naturopathy and Ayurveda. It's a separate subject, let us not get into that. You may start other debate here. And he's an Acharya. See, another thing is that he may be coming to take shelter of the Acharyas. He's always in the shelter, okay? Coming to take their shelter and take more instructions from them and come back. We can't understand Acharya's activities, and neither we should try to speculate. So anyways, when Prabhupada was coming back, the movement had just started. There were a few temples there, things were going on. Although Prabhupada was not left also. He said, okay. And then some disciples said, Prabhupada, you're going to India now. You can send some other sadhu. You are not here for some time. That time Prabhupada said, one thing different, if that man speaks, my movement will be destroyed. Right? Try to understand this thing. Therefore, bona fide teachers cannot be easily replicated. Okay. So, evam parampara prantam, this whole knowledge comes in Guru Parampara. That is how it has been understood. Parampara means, just like even now, we have so-called parampara, but there is one problem with that. That originally the founder only speculated. Just like you learn, say, medicine. Now you learn from somebody, he learned from somebody. There is a system of training and certification. You train in medicine for some time, then you get a doctor's degree. Tomorrow you can also join the faculty and train the new people. The system of school also same thing. You're learning from the teacher, he has been trained and given a degree. Correct? And then the teacher also was trained from somebody. He was also trained from somebody. The training authorization is called parampara. This system we are also following for the material education that we are learning today. But the one defect is there, that whoever the founder of this was speculative. So it can be wrong and tomorrow it can be changed. But this transcendent knowledge, because it comes from the Lord Himself, it is beyond defect, and there is no question of anybody revising it or improving it. So Krishna is saying there is one thing. Even in the parampara you have to be careful. Over a long period of time, knowledge may be lost. That's what he's saying there. First thing, forget outside parampara there is no question. Even within the parampara you have to be careful. Here, Sakalena Mata Yoga Nashta Parampara. Everything has been over the point of time destroyed. Just like you tell somebody something, he tells to him, he tells to him. By the time you receive the 10th person, what happened? There may be some change in it. So Krishna is saying, this is what happened. Originally I taught to Sun God. He taught to Manu, to Ikṣvāku, and it has been coming on earth like that. But now 5,000 years ago when Krishna comes and sees, he says, no, something else is there. This is not what I taught. Okay? Suppose you give information, it's very quite common, no? You give to tell some X person, he tells somebody, and it comes back to you. So everybody has added, deleted something every year. This is not what I told. So therefore Krishna also detected 5,000 years ago, this is not what I told. There is something is missing here. Okay? So therefore Krishna says, I will again start the parampara from you, Arjuna. Please hear now. Therefore the third shloka is like that. Saivayam mayatitya yoga prokta puradana bhakto asime sakha chaiti rahasyam ivedam uttamam. Rahasya, because it is confidential knowledge, and Krishna is saying, I am now going to tell you, through you, I am going to revive this parampara. It's true, Arjuna is not going to write it down. Vedavyasa is going to write it down. Correct? So it will continue in that way. But the point is here is, why is Arjuna being chosen? Krishna could have chosen so many people. Correct? There are many reasons for it. But most important reason is, see, Arjuna was a warrior. Why chosen him? So this gives a lot of importance actually. If Krishna would have chosen a sannyasi, then we were all common people are not needed. This knowledge is not for us. He chose a common man. But there was one quality Arjuna had, and you need that quality if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, Prabhupada says, you look a bottle of honey from outside. Okay? What is the secret you need for Gita knowledge to enter your heart? Bhakto asime. You have to become a devotee of Krishna. Sakha cheti. Favorably important, as a friend, well-wisher of Krishna. So you need to have this quality. And not that, you get academic knowledge, you don't need to be, actually it is there also, it's a system. Today those who are teachers, we saw how horrible it is. There is no respect for a teacher. The whole system, from 8th class they learn how to make fun of the teacher. They come home and imitate the teacher. And by the time college, my God, in the class itself they show all kind of disrespect, like talking, this, that, fifth, So, if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, because it is a rahasya, it is very confidential, correct? Theoretically, we can understand here, we are not body, we are soul, Paramatma, it's all no use. Theoretical knowledge, I told many times, IQ 100, anybody average IQ can understand in few days' time. But if you want to really realize that knowledge and live by that knowledge, you need certain qualification. What is that? Bhakto asime. You have to be a devotee of Krishna. Sakha. You should be very friend of Krishna. Then you can understand. Okay? Not in a spirit of rebellion. You cannot capture this knowledge. This knowledge has to be revealed in the heart. Okay? By hearing, the transcendental knowledge should be realized. That will happen if you are favorably disposed. Now Arjuna, this chapter, interestingly, third chapter, there was a question. First chapter had set of questions and second chapter was answer to them. Third chapter, again Arjuna asked a question and again Krishna opened. The fourth chapter, the question was not in the beginning of fourth chapter, before, because Arjuna asked this question, why we are doing sinful activities even though we don't want to do. So Krishna was answering, and with the same breath he continued into the fourth chapter. Arjuna heard a new topic open, transcendental knowledge, and he heard Krishna said, I taught the sun god, which Arjuna in the Vedic culture known all the things. He calculated this time the sun god learned with spiritual knowledge was 120 million years ago. So he asked this question to Krishna. Arjuna vacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvān katham etad vijñāniyam katham etad vijñāniyam amado proktavān iti. So param means higher, aparam means lower. He is saying you are lower by birth to Vivasvān, in the sense that Vivasvān was born Krishna long time ago. I told you that joke. In Kumbh Mela, I told you many times. Kumbh Mela, it's very common, you meet quite old people. It's a fact. Even proper certified, you meet some people there who are 300, 400 years old, actually. They are yogis and Himalayas. And they come, not everybody. There are a lot of, there are 10 akhadas there, and recent survey has found out they're finding difficult to get people. And it's kind of prestige. So they snatch people from each other, and worst, hire normal people to act like sadhus during the Kumbh Mela. That's all I heard about it. So there are genuine also, and there are bogus. Both are there. Some of them are really genuine in the sense of Ashtanga yogis. Ashtanga yoga generally cannot be done in Kali Yuga because it is difficult. It's not recommended to mass of people. But it's not like nobody can do it. There are some people who can still have that good time. And these people are there. They have very fantastic life because Ashtanga yoga takes a lot of time. And they slow down their breathing and they live for a longer time. And they come for Kumbh Mela because it's a very important event to take bath in the Ganges. So I remember when I was there, our man, I asked, how old are you? You know what he said? I was there in Sita Swayambhava. He told me this. I started laughing for 2 minutes because I calculated that is 2 million years ago. Because Treta Yuga you are talking about. Some million of years, what are you talking about? So this is same way now Krishna is telling Arjuna what? I taught this to sun god Arjuna. Arjuna is calculating 120 million years ago. What is this Krishna? You are my contemporary, my friend. You are born along same time I was born. Correct? What are you telling me all this that 120 million years ago you taught this to sun god? So this question. Arjuna said, sun god Vivasvān is senior by birth to you. Param Janma Vivaspata. See, Param. He is senior by birth to you. You are junior to him by birth. How am I to understand? At the beginning you instructed the science to him. So you see how scientifically Arjuna is trying to understand. Okay? There is question and answer. It is not blind. Okay? Why is it so? But first hear. That people forget. They want to question before hearing. That is not allowed. First you hear. How a teacher can teach. I start F equal to MA. Student said why F? Why not P? You say get out of the class. You first hear what I am trying to tell. That is the way of receiving the knowledge. You hear, and then if you cannot understand, you clarify. You cannot just say, oh, okay, I have my own terms I am on. No, sir. You have to follow the way we are teaching. So, therefore, Arjuna is hearing what Krishna is telling. He is a perfect disciple. He is giving an example of a good disciple. Krishna is clarifying. So, it's not that questions are not entertained. There was one person I said, he was very disturbed, some student. So, I said, see, you should practice spiritual life. So I should become like a goat, just whatever is told, I should believe in it. That's what idea many people have about spiritual life, isn't it? It's not true. See how Arjuna has asked a question. How is it Krishna? This is a very, question. But Prabhupada says, in the purport here, Arjuna did not ask this question for himself. He knows. He is asking for the public, so they can know the glories of his Lord Krishna. No? He knows, oh, people do not know, oh, Krishna is so great. Now Krishna gives some very important shlokas which Śrī Bhagavān Vāca Bahūni me vyatitani Janmāni tava Arjuna Tāni aham veda sarvāni Tattvam veda parantapa. The blessed Lord said, many births, both you and I have passed, but I can remember all of them, but you cannot, oh subdue anyone. Krishna says, Arjuna, that there is a difference between you and me. This is the difference. You have forgotten, I remember everything. Prabhupada says, if somebody forgets, he is not God. Somebody says, I am God. Can you tell me what you did 10 years ago? I don't remember. You are not God. God cannot forget. Simple. Past, present, future is known to him. And another thing is, this is from another Puranas collected, that Arjuna is an eternal associate of Krishna. In every pastime Krishna comes, Arjuna comes in some capacity. He is always with Krishna. Even this Leela of Krishna Arjuna is going eternally in so many universes. Eternally. Here Krishna and Arjuna are there, again another universe, like that eternally it is going on. But Krishna says, Arjuna, there is a difference between both of us. that both of us are born many times, okay? But I can remember all the births, but you cannot remember. So Prabhupada explained this in the purport. The reason is Krishna has transcendental body and we have material body. Because the bodies keep changing, we keep reference to context, it has no meaning left. Okay? Just like you remember now something about previous birth. It's in a different place, in a different body. Just doesn't make sense also if that memory comes in your mind. Many people say, I don't remember. Even if the memory comes in your mind, you'll discard it because it doesn't make any sense now. Last life you were a girl in Afghanistan, suppose. Now suppose that memory comes to you, it doesn't make any sense actually. These memories have been, even if they have seen it before 4 years, and the person is, just recounts something, and after some time discard it. It happens rarely, but they are facts. That's called Jata Smriti. There are many verified facts about people having past memory. They are born and studied, and it is true. That's called Jata Smriti. It has been proven. And they dump it in the department called metaphysics because there is no way to solve it. They say that maybe the child, what happened, has every image is uploaded in the sky somewhere, and this child is downloaded because that's like internet. But the fact is not this. The fact is the soul was there in the last life, and today it has, remembering some impressions from the last life. Okay? That is very true. That's why we see some people pick up something very nice. Prabhupada was in a temple and he was coming down to give class. One child, 1.5, 2 years, heavy kirtan was going on, and he was playing kartal like even we can't play. Prabhupada saw that boy, sat down. He said, these children, these are not ordinary. Please take good care of them. They were devoted in the past life. Otherwise, he can't play like this and dance so rhythmically. Small boy, this much. This is some experience of his past life. Correct? We see some people pick up spiritual life so immediately. Some people, hundreds of years goes on. They never develop seriousness. Correct? There are people like that. So the reason is, some people immediately chant 60 notes, some people take a lot of time. Because some people have come, with a good experience, pick up, it takes. But I can remember all of them, but you cannot subdue your enemy. So Krishna is patient. He can remember all the previous citizens. Krishna does not forget. He remembers trillions of years what we have done, he knows. The next. This is all beauties of shlokas. Ajo apisan avayatma Bhutanam Ishvaro apisan Prakritim Svamadhishtaya Sambhavami Atmaya. Aja means unborn. So now let us go to the translation. Although I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates. Abhayatma means there is no deterioration of my body. I am unborn, my body does not deteriorate. Bhutanam Ishvarapisam, I am the Lord of all the living entities. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya Sammohami Atmaya. I still come in this world by my own energy. Atmaya. We are not born in this world. So Krishna says, see the previous shloka, you see, it's a logical sequence going on. Both you and me have passed many births, but I remember, you don't remember. Then now Krishna talks about his birth. Why is he born? Krishna is saying, I am born even though I am unborn. There's a contradiction, but in the sense that Krishna is born not like us. Krishna comes always in his spiritual body. We come covered by the material body in complete illusion. There is a great deal of difference. Krishna, when he is born, again he is qualifying, I am born by my own energy. None of us chose our parents. We were forced to take birth according to Purva Karma. Correct? It matched. The karma of the situation the parents are in, and it matched. For whatever reason, we were born in a particular family because that was what our karma sanctioned. But now what happens is that Krishna is not born like that. He is born by Atma, by his own sweet will, where he wants to be. No force. Not that it's forced to take his birth. No. He descends by his own sweet will. He comes down to this world and he chooses his parents, generally great devotees. Krishna is born in the family of his great devotees and they get a pleasure to participate in Krishna's pastime. Although I am unborn and transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Krishna doesn't come covered a material body. He comes in the spiritual body. Okay. Now this is the famous shloka. Now Krishna, so then Krishna comes in this way. He comes in the spiritual form by his own sweet will, not forced. But why does Krishna come? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata apyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam shrijamiyam. Whenever, wherever there is a decline, yada yada, whenever, wherever, correct? What? Would decline of glani of what? Dharma. Then what happens? Krishna says, I come, abhyuthana. For what? Adharmasya. To say there is predominance of a religion, Krishna says, Adharmasya, at that time I come, tadatmanam shrijamiyam, I take birth in this world. When I take birth, whenever there is a dharma glani. The dharma glani, Krishna doesn't say, yada yada hi Hindu dharma sa glani. Prabhupada pointed out many times, don't think like that. Dharma means we should surrender to the Lord. When that is disturbed and something else starts off, Krishna comes. Many lectures, Prabhupada. And then when he comes, what does he do? See, it's logical sequence. What does he do when he comes? Krishna said, Arjuna, okay, Arjuna asked this question. I'm not as grave how it started. Arjuna asked this question. Krishna, how do I have to understand? You taught this knowledge to Sangha. Krishna says, see, both of us have come many times. You don't remember, I remember. Then Krishna says after that, what is the next look at that? Ajo. Even though I am unborn, Ajo visanartha avyatam bhutanam vishwaresam. I come down, even though I am unborn, I come by my own sweet will. I don't come forced by anything. By my own energy I come down, choosing my own parents and the whole situation. We don't come like that. We are forced to come because we are controlled by mental energy. Krishna is the controller of mental energy. There is a big gap between us. We are controlled by mental energy and Krishna is the controller of mental energy. So Krishna comes by his own sweet will. So then, why does he come? So he comes when there is other mind in this world, when whatever Krishna's instructions are there which are being disobeyed. Okay? What is dharma? Dharma is nothing but orders of Krishna. When Krishna's orders are being disobeyed, Krishna comes down. Just like in a jail, when there is a crisis, army comes down. Okay? You know that? Army also goes inside the jails. Similarly, middle world, even though it's a Krishna's creation, Krishna has given us opportunity to work in this world independent of him, but not adharma way. Krishna has given us freedom within dharma. Highest is go back to the spiritual world and dance with Krishna. Now you say, Krishna, no, I like to be in the material world. Okay? Krishna says, don't go. It's not a happy place. I want to go. Go. But you come here, you have to live a dharmic life. If you live a dharmic life, army will enter the jail. Just like in a jail, sometimes some riots start. They cannot say, anyway, you're separated from the city. No, sir. We have put you here to reform you to come back. So you have to follow certain routine and whatever we have given you. Suppose you say, no, I will do whatever I want. No. Immediately army will come. So similarly, some people think I can do whatever I want. No, sir. Krishna will interrupt the situation. Either he will send somebody or he will personally come down. So Krishna said, yes, I come down. And what do I do when I come down? This is what I do. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkrita dharma samsthapanarthaya bhavami yuge yuge. What does he do? Paritranaya sadhuna. He saves the devotees. Vinashaya cha dushkrita. Simultaneously, all the miscreants. Some people are trying to follow and some people are not trying to follow his instruction. Those who are not trying to follow, obviously it contradicts the life of the devotee. So they disturb the devotees. Krishna vanquishes them. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, and I establish my orders are followed in this world. Dharma, that is called dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge. And like this I come in every yuga. So somebody may ask this question, Kali Yuga why has not come? Because he gave an order. He gave a promise, I come in every yuga. Yuge, yuge. And whenever there is adharma, I come. Kali Yuga he has come as Lord Chaitanya. He has kept up his promise which he has given in Bhagavad Gita. Whenever there is so much adharma, I come down. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, I come. So why he is not coming in Kali Yuga? Somebody may question. Correct? He has come as Lord Chaitanya. Okay, so we can listen. Janma karma chame divyam to evam yoveti tattvataha tattva deham punarjanma neti mapiti so Arjuna. Now what Krishna is telling, Janma karma chame divyam, I come down to this world, but then when my activities are divya, are not ordinary to understand. If you can understand my birth in this world and my activities, Arjuna, you will not take birth again in this world. Therefore we try to understand Krishna. Suppose you put down, some time daily and read Krishna word. Try to understand Krishna. Okay? You will not take birth again in this world. Even one thing you can understand, how Krishna appeared. Is it easy to understand? You say, I will understand, I can read the chapter. What do you understand when you read the chapter? Krishna came in Chaturbhuja. Anybody has come like that? And any one of us. So anyway, it's not that I read. You have to understand that. Can you understand the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance in this world? It is beyond the way anybody is appearing. And each activity of Krishna, on what plane it is done, how Krishna is doing that activity. If you can realize that, the transcendental nature of Krishna beyond the material world, as a Lord, Supreme Lord, who is come down for sweet pastime with his eternal devotees. If you can realize that, what happens then? Tattva deham punarjanma. After giving up this body, Krishna says, Naiti, punarjanma will be naiti. You will not have, after giving up this body, you will not take another birth. Okay, so that's why every Jayanti or Ashtami, Janmashtami, we quote the shloka. That's very important shloka. Why is it that we gather together on every... Now Narasimha Jayanti is coming on Friday. Kindly take some leaflets, invite all your friends. Okay? So why is it that we are inviting people to come? Why do we celebrate the Lord's Jayanti? Because if you can understand why the Lord appeared that day in different incarnations and how the Lord did transcendental beautiful pastimes, you will not take birth again in this world. Okay? So that's why we try to understand. Okay? Janma karma chame divya evam yuveti tattvataha tattva deham punarjanma naiti. You will not take punarjanma in this world. Maneti. What happened to you? You will go back to the spiritual world. Bhitaraga bhaya krodha anamaya mamupashita bahuvo jnana tapasa utamadbhavam agata. Then how do we, the question may be, then Krishna says, if you can understand my transcendental nature, you go back. How do I understand the transcendental nature of his activities? Here. Vita. Vita means give up. What to give up? Give up? Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. There are three problems here. Attachment, fear and anger. Manu Maya Mahapupashita. Completely take my shelter. And then Bahavo Jnana Tapasa. Cultivate knowledge and Tapasya. Do some austerities. Bhuta. Being purified in that way. Madhbhava Bhagata. You can reach my abode. Or you can reach spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Okay. So, how do we achieve transcendental knowledge? Is actually, if you go, it's just logical sequence going on. How do we achieve transcendental knowledge? Practicing jnana and tapasya, become free from raga, bhaya, krodha, and manmaya, you become Krishna conscious. Mamapashita, we take shelter of Krishna and being purified, we reach Krishna's consciousness. Just like we have some Jnana Tapasya, we say read Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna, correct? You'll become free from all the things and you can understand Krishna. Sometimes people say, explain to me how God exists. That is not the process Krishna has given. Vidaraga Jnana Tapasya, you have to patiently hear and follow tapasya. Just like you want to learn medicine, what you have to do? You want to study 9th, which class now? 10th class? 9th class? You have to go to school. All the tapasya is there. They say do the assignment, you have to do. They say do this exam, you have to do. They say do this practical, you have to do. Correct or not? You cannot say, tell me 9th class, 5 minutes. You have to do. It takes time. So this jnana is also not ordinary. It takes time to absorb, realize. It takes time. And tapasya, you have to do tapasya here also. Our tapasya is that you have to follow the 4 agreed principles. You have to chant Hare Krishna, get up in the early morning. This is the tapasya very given. Apart from jnana, like that. Then okay, this is how it is. But then people don't follow. Then Krishna says the next shloka. Ye yatha mam prapadyante samadadaiva bhajamiham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. He says, as you surrender to me, to that way I will reciprocate. Okay? You are interested in spiritual knowledge, you come to me, I give you that. You are interested in material benefits, I give you that. So whatever you come for. Therefore, it's a reason he says that everybody doesn't come to spiritual platform. Another point is to the degree you surrender. Ye yatha. All of them, as they surrender to me, I award the accordingly. Actually, everybody, Krishna said, everyone follows my path in all respects. As is a very beautiful example Prabhupada gave of that. Suppose you're walking on the road, traffic police is there, you're driving a car. You don't follow traffic laws, what will happen? They'll force you to follow. They will catch your vehicle, they will give you some fine, they'll force you. You don't have a choice actually. So similarly, we think I have a choice, I will follow Krishna or not follow Krishna. No sir. If you don't follow Krishna, you'll be forced to follow. You'll be forced to follow. Either you voluntarily follow Krishna and enjoy, be in bliss, or you are forced to follow the criminal laws. There are 2 laws. One is civil laws and criminal laws. Criminal laws are terrible. Civil laws are present. So Vaikuntha is like civil laws. Happily they follow. You don't have any headache to follow the laws. They are peaceful. True, the government is crazy, but still, more or less, you are comfortable. But criminal laws are terrible. Inside the jail, it's terrible. You are fully bound. You say, I want to make a call to my friend. They will not give you mobile only, legally. Legally they get somehow. Correct? You are in trouble actually. You are completely, your freedom has been curtailed. So, do you have freedom actually? No, you have to obey the laws of the state. If you don't obey, you will be forced to obey in a terrible way. Better peacefully obey. So, there is no choice. Therefore, Krishna is saying, everybody follows my path in all respects. You cannot avoid Krishna. You cannot say, I have nothing to do with Krishna. Very good. Criminal laws. You say, go to the king, say, I don't bother about your law. What the Krishna, the king will say, put him inside jail. Let him know what I am. You peacefully follow. Now, normal thing, if you are following the laws of the state, king will not disturb you. You can go chat with him, joke with him, no problem. But suppose you disobey, that this is spiritual world, it's no problem. They enjoy. In fact, Prabhupada says rather sweetly, devotees carry the order of the Lord in their heart. It's a pleasure. If suppose Krishna comes and says, bring a glass of water for me, what a pleasure it will be. So it's not that it's a trouble. But it's like as your wish. Choose civil laws, criminal laws. You choose. And even in the civil law, there may be there may be intense obedience. Like there are pure devotees like Radharani. They are very intense surrender to the Lord. And then there is like small surrender like we have. So there are devotees also categories are there. Nishtha, Adhama, Uttama. Accordingly, Krishna reciprocates. To the degree you surrender, Krishna reciprocates that much. You completely take protection and shelter of Krishna, Krishna will completely take charge of your life. To that degree. Okay? Because you don't want Krishna, just like what happens, children, They say to the father, give me one toy. After they give you the toy, what they say? Now you get lost. I don't want you. You see, just notice the mentality. And now you say, I will sit there, no, I want the toy, not you. Get up. And I want to enjoy the toy. That's how our nature is. So Krishna knows that. To the degree we surrender to Krishna, to that degree he reciprocates. We don't want more, he will not push himself more. Correct? That was the child wants. Some surrender is there, not more. Not that he wants to sit with you whole dinner. Please go somewhere, I want to play now. Don't disturb. So to the degree we want, to that degree Krishna reciprocates. He is a perfect gentleman. Now let me go fast now. This is the essence of the chapter. Now I'll just complete the chapter. Men in this world desire success and fruitive activity, and therefore they worship the demigod. Quickly, of course, men get reserved from the fruitive world in this world. If the people are not interested in me, mostly they want some fruitive activities. Just like the child, give me a toy and get lost. They want some selfish, some desire they have. So generally they don't even come to me. They go to some administrator, Devata, they avoid me. Correct? And system is such, if you go to Devata, quickly a material desire will be fulfilled without protection. I give you the example. When you buy a product from a proper shop, you go to, say you want to buy Apple product, you go to Apple store, you can purchase, it comes with warranty and license. You go and purchase from some duplicate market, you may get duplicate product and definitely there is no warranty. So when you get any benefit from Devata, it is without any protection. No protection. Okay? But Krishna gives you, it is its full protection. Things about him. Whether it is, he may not give you also. Because sometimes you want to buy a gun from an authorized shop, they will not give you if you don't have license. Okay? True? But from a duplicate market, all these things are available. Guns are available. Every city is it's available. Okay? How do you know? It's available. Chaturvarnamaya Shishtam Gunakarama Vibhagashah Tasya Kartaram Apima Riyakartaram Ambeyam. So Krishna is saying here, okay, there are different kind of people. He has now started focusing on the different natures of people. He says, yeah, as a surrender I respond, and what is the last verse? To the degree they surrender, and the people don't even come to me. They go to the Devatas and they try to get their work done. In fact, Krishna says later, going to the Devatas is like avidipuraka. It's not a proper way. They try to bribe the Devatas and get the work done. But anyway, there are four kind of people now. He's now shifting focus from himself now to the kind of people in this world. He said there are four categories. Chatur Murna Maya Shishtam Gunu Karma Vibhagasha. Many people talk about caste system. Many people in other religions make fun of this caste system. And even in India, many people don't understand why there is caste system. There is no caste system. Chatur Varna, four categories of people are always there. Krishna says it is my creation. Prabhupada says God creation cannot be destroyed. It's foolish. Today we read that in the morning. God made system should not be destroyed by man. It is foolish. In society, there are four kind of people. Some people are intellectually minded, they are compared to the head. They give the vision. Today there are people giving vision. Maybe politicians, maybe some visionaries whom everybody listens to. But their vision is nonsense. Head is there, but it cannot function the role of head. They are not properly trained, but they give vision. Do like this, and some nonsense vision. Now the government wants to give everybody one laptop. That's what the promise they made for election. About any youngster will do with a laptop, play games and watch internet. What is the use of that? They don't have proper vision. What is the benefit for the society? They don't know. Chatur Varna, whole India labor is not available. You know that problem. And they want to give rice as 1 rupee. Who wants that actually? Nobody wants. You are giving a freebie, just making a joke of it. If there is some emergency somewhere, they have analyzed actually. Recent economic survey, some big organization done. These people who want rice at 1 rupee doesn't exist. That's only in the mind which you create some kind of welfare. Suppose you want to give, I want to give Gita at 1 rupee, I can't sustain that. You are doing something which is unsustainable. True, there is a drought somewhere, there is some crisis somewhere, that we understand. But in general, in India, labor is not available now. True. We are waiting how many days for coconut to be plucked. At 50 rupees per tree, not available. How many people are requested? Can you get some? And we will try. Not available. Yeah. It has become 100 rupees. So Krishna is saying, therefore, Chaturvarna should be there. It's very why it is not available, because there is no Chaturvarna. Fourth Varna is not existing today. All the four has to be there. Now, on what basis it should be there? Guna karma. Just like a head has to do work of the head. Correct? You can say, I am a Brahmana, do the work of a Brahmana. Simply telling is not good. So many people are there, I am a Brahmana. Very good. Do the work of Brahmana. What is the work of Brahmana? Patana Padan, Yajana Yajan, Dana Pratika. That's all. Patan Patan, whole day should read scriptures and teach people what are the scriptures. First one, he has to give knowledge to the society. Then, Yajana Yajan, he should worship the Lord. Not that nowadays we have Brahmana but Nastik. Some communities are there, Nastik Brahmanas. Don't want to name them. Very. So there is nothing like Nastik Brahmana. Brahmana, one of the things is, the qualities of Brahmana are given. What is that? Samadama, Tapa, Shaucham, Shanti, Marjav, Evacha, Jnana, Vijnana, Astikyam. He has to be astic. He has to control the senses. He has to control the mind. Like that, so many 9 qualities are there in the 18th chapter. We come to that. So the division is according to Guna and Karma. Okay? Suggestion. And division, so this is Chaturvarna Krishna says, I created, it should be there. All the 4 angas are needed in the society, correct? Why we are suffering for coconut plucker? Because Shudra is not available, it's needed. And on top of it, nothing is derogatory. Every like leg, suppose I have an injury, I go to hospital. For leg also, I have an injury head, I go to hospital. I have a headache, I go to hospital. If my leg is paining, then also I go to hospital. So all the 4 have their importance and value. But the division is based on the leg should do work of leg, stomach should do work of stomach. Okay. Guna, karma, vibhāga, based on the quality and activity it is. Okay. This is a very big shloka, we can spend hours on it, but we have to finish the chapter today. Nama karmani limbati, name karma phalas priya, iti mam avijanati, karma vina sapadyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action, or understand the truth about me, also does not become entangled. See, when when Krishna does some work, he is not in want of anything. In fact, in one more chapter, Krishna tells Arjuna this. 3rd chapter, we read that. Last, Krishna tells Arjuna, you don't want to fight, but you're going to set such a bad example. And then he talks about himself. He says, I don't want anything in this world. Correct? Krishna has nothing to look for in this world. In Vaikuntha, he is there. His own energies are. He's there with eternal devotees and he's having such a sweet time. What he is looking for in this dull material world, correct? So Krishna, when he comes to this world, he is not looking for anything in this world. Just like a king when comes to the jail, there is nothing for him to what your chapati is interested in. He is having nice parotha that is nice, correct? So he is coming to the jail, there is nothing for him to look for. But still Krishna says, when I came to this world, I give a good example. Correct? I follow in which role I have taken, I follow that. Krishna came in this world like a Kshatriya. He followed the rules and etiquettes of a Kshatriya. Correct? So Krishna gives an example. So he said, no work that affects me. I just do, just to give a good example. Nor do I aspire for anything in this world. If you understand this, then you also don't become entangled to the fruitive activities. All the liberated souls in the ancient time acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. If you meditate on Krishna being transcendental, Krishna being so, our disease is this. We are in the jail and king comes to the jail to visit the jail. We think king is another pickpocket. Why has come? Today they are pickpockets only, but generally king will not be like that. And he comes to the jail. Why he has come to the jail? So we think he's also another pickpocket. So Krishna comes to this world, we think he's also covered by Maya. No. Krishna comes to this world out of his own sweet will. The same essence is continuing. If you can just meditate on this, that Krishna is transcendental and he still comes to this world out of love for us to invite us back to Godhead, then Krishna says what will happen? You will also become liberated. And therefore as ancient, you should perform your duty in the divine world. Follow the good example of many great saints who have this understanding. Even the intelligence are bewildered in determining what is action, what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing to be liberated from all sins. Okay? There are three things: action, inaction, karma, akarma, vikarma. Now Krishna is going to spend some time explaining this. Intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore one should properly understand what action is, what forbidden action is, what inaction is. Okay? Properly understand all these things. One who sees inaction in action, action in action, is intelligent among men. Now what happens? You may do some big activity, I did this, I became a big man. You say it is waste. You did so much action, but finally it is of no value. Because you have to take birth in a body of a rat or a cat or a dog. What is the use? You became Prime Minister of India. If next life you become a rat, what is the use? Okay, so in that sense, even though there is so much action, it is inaction. And then we are not doing anything. Morning we sit down and chant Hare Krishna 2 hours, correct? Many call the normal man cannot know what is all this you are doing. Arey, this looks inaction, but it is the greatest action. Okay, so in that way I am trying to solve the riddle. Many devotees have tried to solve in so many ways. One who is understood in full knowledge that every act is devoid of desire for sense gratification. That's how it has to be. Devotee feels ashamed when he does that. Actually all of us, nobody agrees we do activity for sense gratification. Nobody will agree. If you tell somebody who you are, please introduce what you want to do. I want to do this, I want to do this. Correct? They take an oath in medical after they finish their doctor. Correct? I want to do this, I want to do this. I will save the humanity, I will. But actually, everybody, if you tell him to explain himself, shows that he is not doing activity for any selfish desire. I am just trying to serve the community. They will try to say like that. Devoid of desire for sense gratification. Actually, when you are on that platform, that's beautiful. But generally, we make a show. He is said by sages to be a worker whose fruitive action is burned by the fire of perfect knowledge. Activity is done actually for Krishna's pleasure. Then there is no reaction. Abandoning all attachment. Last chapter we read, no? Yagnarthat karmano anyatra lobo ayam karma vardhanaha. Krishna said every activity should only be done for my pleasure, otherwise it will bind you. So this shloka was exactly similar to that. Don't do activity for your own pleasure. Rather do activity full knowledge for Krishna's pleasure. Then you don't get bound. Abandoning all attachment to the results of activity, ever satisfied and independent. He performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertaking. Okay? Prabhupada says everything, all this is possible in Krishna consciousness. The act is done for Krishna's pleasure. Such a man of understanding acts with the mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possession, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reaction. Okay, just for the bare necessities he works. He who is satisfied with the gain which comes of his own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, he is never entangled all the performing action. Now, as qualifying our action, actually there is a big analysis devotees have done. There is something called karma kanda, there is called sakama karma, there is called nishkama karma. So these are all. You can divide each book into different categories. The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of mental nature and is fully seated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. When you do act for Krishna, the record of that, there are 3 passbooks. When you do papa karma, it goes to one record. Prabhupada was once waiting somewhere to meet somebody when he was in India. He used to go to meet people to sell his Bhagavatam or propose them to help him start the mission around the world. Today morning, we read 4 beautiful letters from Prabhupada. That's called man with a mission. Correct? So then what happened, that Prabhupada was sitting outside and a clerk was doing, that accounting. So Prabhupada instructed him, whatever you do in your life, simple activity is a debit. And whatever good you do is credit. And whatever you do for Krishna, that is another record. So the same way, Papa is one record, Punya is another passport, Papa is another passport. They don't cancel each other. Correct? And then when you work for Krishna, that is separate passport. So like that. It's not that you done Papa, you do Punya, it will cancel. Doesn't work like that. It's different.
Doesn't get negated.
That debit credit the Prabhupada was telling him was like independently recorded. One column of debit will be there. Tuma debit. So in material calculation it cancels. The Prabhupada told him that will not cancel. Stay separate. You cannot cancel the Papa by doing Punya. No, it's a separate account. But apart from that, a karma is a separate account. Now you chant Hare Krishna. Neither Punya nor Papa. It gives Krishna pleasure. Another. True, automatically it's the highest punya, but that is not what we are looking for. It is for Krishna's pleasure. Separate account is kept. But the work of a man with unattached modes of mental nature is fully transcendent, merges entirely. So that work, akarma, goes into different accounts. Karma, vikarma, akarma, different accounts. A person is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, sure to attain spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities. Right? We keep doing akarma in that account, credit. We chant Hare Krishna, credit. We read Bhagavad Gita, credit. And we play Mridanga, credit. All credit accumulates and you go back to Krishna. In which contribution is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Okay? Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods are offering different. Now Krishna talks about different kind of credits people take. They can take spiritual credit, but some people worship devatas. Some offer sacrifice in the fire of supreme Brahman. Some people just meditate on the Brahman. Different kind of peoples. Some of them sacrifice the hearing process. That is the best. Sacrifice hearing process with desire is to hear so many things. But we say I will hear only about Krishna. Like now at this point, 1 hour you could have heard the TV also. And instead of that, you say, let me hear about Bhagavad Gita. You have done a sacrifice, that is sacrifice. Some sacrifice in the sense of mind control. Yes, the mind you could have thought of anything. Now I will put my mind on trying to understand what Krishna is telling here. Sacrifice objects of the senses. Instead of meditating on the senses, on sense objects, let you meditate on Krishna's lotus feet. That sacrifice is going on. As such a sound in the fire of sacrifice, it goes on. Those who are interested in self-realization in terms of mind and sense control and the function of the senses as well as vital force, as oblation, the fire of the control mind. So keep offering different things in a sacrifice. Without sacrifice, you cannot advance in material or spiritual life. Not possible. Sacrifice has to be there. Correct? A child wants to play. No, he has to sacrifice. Forcefully. Go to school. So sacrifice has to be. Otherwise, you can't advance. You remain where you are. There are those who enlightened are sacrificing their mental possessions, severe austerity, take strict vows and practice a yoga of 8-fold mysticism, Ashtanga Yoga. It will come in the 6th chapter. And others study the Veda for advancement or transcendental knowledge. These are all sacrifice. You could have done so many things just to say, let me study the Vedas. There are others even who are inclined to the process of breast restraint. They do pranayama, they do other things, remain in trance. These are all Ashtanga Yogis. Practice stopping the movement of the outgoing into incoming. They stop breathing only. Outgoing, ingoing, they cancel. Therefore, they used to go inside the water. They can stand inside the water because Kumbhaka Yoga it is. Kumbhaka Yoga. But Kali Yuga, these are not recommended. People become very excited when they hear it. They're very attractive to hear actually. We say sitting chanting is not. You tell one hand here, one leg here, or that is very attractive to hear. Actually, you tell them just by chanting Hare Krishna, you go back to Krishna. They don't want to. They cannot believe it can be so simple. They want something complicated. That's the problem with people. Simple answer they give, they can't believe. So simple, not possible. It should be complicated. Therefore, sometimes devotees become, they tell in a very complicated way. Oh, very nice. The chanting Hare Krishna, they tell like that. Now you do that. Now you forget everything outside. Now you take a deep breath inside. And then you chant Hare Krishna. They like that. They like that. You have to complicate it. If you tell it very simple, anywhere you can in the bathroom chant, anywhere chant. So simple, wrong. I have not agreed. You complicate it and tell, they will agree. Very nice. Remember, we did that in the yoga for happiness. Now you take a deep breath inside, leave it outside. Now you chant. So like they like incoming breath into outgoing, thus remain in trance, stopping all breathing. People like all these things. Some of them curtailing the eating process, offer outgoing, but some people don't eat also. There are some people, they eat once in 2 days, they find that, this is all austerity. But actually none of these have been recommended for Kali-yuga. Whatever austerities you do, we should be guided. Tapo divyam. Correct? You take a medicine under guidance, not whimsical. All this performance, know the meaning of sacrifice, become clean of all. But the purpose of all the tapasyas people are doing should be to advance in consciousness. Become clean of all sinful reaction. That should happen. Purification should happen. And taste the nectar or abundance of sacrifice. They all go to the supreme eternal atmosphere. That is the ultimate goal of all the sacrifices. Oh, best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, nobody can live happily on this planet or in this life. Then forget about next. You need to sacrifice. See, just like I am sick, first thing I have to admit, then I have to take medicine. Medicine is never pleasant, injections and all this thing, but I have to agree to do something. Something I have to do to improve my condition. If I don't do anything, then what is called jaise the, I remain as it is. Correct? Just like even economic development, we have to do something. We will not get anything otherwise. So something has to be done. For going back to Godhead, yes, we have to keep working. All these different kinds of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. So the Vedas have like a medicine shop, all different kind of recommendations. So these are all recommendations are there in the Vedas. Oh, just as an enemy, sacrifice of knowledge is greater than sacrifice of material possession. Just like suppose somebody is there, Punyatma, he gives some sacrifice of material possession, But even if that does not result in some realization or some spiritual knowledge, it is waste. True. That becomes material. It is not spiritual. You got it? The sacrifice of knowledge is greater than the sacrifice of material possession. O son of Partha, after all the sacrifice of work culminates in the transcendental knowledge. The chapter is transcendental knowledge. So you may be sacrificing, but that should result in a spiritual benefit. So if you don't sacrifice connected to Krishna, then you will get faith in Krishna. Krishna will be pleased. What is the shloka? When you serve Bhagavata, you learn book Bhagavata, then you can learn book Bhagavata. By serving person Bhagavatam, you understand book Bhagavatam. Shanvatam Sakata Krishna, Punya Shavana Kirtana. Uske pehle shloka. Previous, not later. So anyway, Shushusha Shadadanasa Vasudeva Katharuchi Shan Mahat Sevaya. When you do serve, just like you do some service to Mahat, temple is nothing, an opportunity to do service. Mahat Sevaya. What is happening? You are serving. Prabhupada says these temples are nothing but my own personal body, extension of my body. So we do whatever service in a temple. It pleases the spiritual master, pleases Krishna. And then spiritual knowledge awakens in the heart. Not only by hearing. Some people go mad. I hear. You cannot digest. You cannot digest if you hear all day. You can't digest. Practically service we should do. Then what happens? Combination of that is very nice. Correct? That's the problem. I will only hear. Somebody may say transcendental knowledge. I will not do. Just like some people cook Rajbhog every day. What is the use? It's a waste. No? I would have read Bhagavad Gita better. Nonsense. Nonsense. When you are practically serving Krishna, you will get mercy to realize what is there in the book. Both are together. Not that you stop reading. Both are together. O Partha, after all sacrifice of work, culminates in transcendental knowledge. And finally, what are you reading? Reading Krishna is saying, serve me. And you hesitate to serve him. What is the nonsense? If you are reading also, what is there? Reading, it's only not only there, Krishna is dancing in the Radharani. That is not the only thing there in the books. Krishna says, serve me. Correct? With use your senses and serve me. So then you are reading, then you have to apply, no? Simply reading. What is he using? What is the use? Simply reading. Apply that, no? So in application, definitely there is a practical service. Now Krishna is saying how to learn. Tat viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya vidakshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. So we are learning. Now this is the house of Prabhupada. We are learning. So first thing, found an acharya, pranipatena, surrender. Take a shelter. Please instruct me. Just like Arjuna takes shelter of Krishna. Pariprashnena, now you are hearing from Prabhupada, the question may come. No, why this is like that, why? Okay, ask your question. But first surrender. First surrender. You cannot argue. You accept or reject, that's your business. Just like you go to the class. You can't argue with the teacher. You accept or reject, that's your business. And if you don't understand, you can clarify. But you can't argue. That's not the way to learn. You can go to class and argue with the teacher. Correct? That is not the way to learn. Whatever teacher is telling, if you don't understand, you clarify. But you can't argue. No teacher allows an argument on an equal level in the class. So, first is pranipatena. Now, in the middle education, it is artificially the institutionalized system. Teacher comes, get up. You know, we have institutionalized respect for the teacher. But the Vedic knowledge actually is the best system. Best system. It is not institution. It is, it is a beautiful system where the Guru teaches without any remuneration. So that's why pranipatena. And then what do you give? What do you give? Sevaya. You benefit. You receive spiritual knowledge, you benefit. Then you ask, what service I can do? Therefore they used to learn, no? They used to give Guru Dakshina. After learning and benefiting, even Krishna and Balaram learned from Sandipani Muni. And they asked Sandipani Muni, after learning, in how many days they learned? Some days they learned everything. Then 64 days, some days they learned. Every day they learned so many things. That was amazing. And after benefiting, learning so many things, they asked him, how can I save it, serve him? And he asked something to them. Bring back my dead son or something, and Krishna can do anything to God. Pariprashnena sevaya. In the Vedic, today what happens, anyway you have to pay so much fees, so you lose that respect. But Vedic time there was no fees, it was free education. And then only thing you do is seva. Okay? This is the way. Upadakshanti te jnanam. He will give all knowledge to you. Why? Tattva darshinaha. Because he has seen the truth. He is not theorizing. See, when I am speaking now, I am theorizing. I have not seen Krishna, you have not seen Krishna. But why I am speaking then? What I have heard, I am just repeating, honestly. But I am not seeing. When Acharya speaks, as good as sound is coming from the spiritual world. From Vaikuntha somebody is speaking. It's as that sound is so powerful, it can wake up a full person in Maya and send him back to the spiritual world. That power it has. Therefore, when you hear Prabhupada read his books, allow that vibration to go inside your system. It's a different vibration. It is like a mantra vibrated from the spiritual world. Just hear, just attentively. Just like you chant Hare Krishna. That is a mantra. Exactly like that is a mantra coming from the spiritual world. It's a realized soul is seeing the spiritual world and speaking. No theorizing for an acharya. No question. He is not an acharya otherwise. So Jnanina Tattva Darshina. Tattva is seeing the truth. It is said Tattva. Tattva means the truth. Darshina is seers. The seers of the truth. Not theorizing. We are theorizing. So real acharya is who? Therefore people say I want Guru, I want Diksha. First understand what is Guru. You want to buy a pizza, you should understand what is pizza, correct? Otherwise somebody will cheat you. You want to buy gold, you should know what is gold. So in India, in the Hindu culture, the fashion, I want Guru, correct? I want Diksha. First understand what is Guru. Simply you will get cheated at that. So you have to look for a Tattvadarshinaha, for a person who is seeing the truth. And next. And when you learn the truth, you will know that all living beings are but part of me, and they are in me, and they are mine. Okay. This should be the result of knowledge, that nothing is independent of Krishna. Everything is part and parcel of Krishna. Result of hearing the Tattvadarshana is this. When you learn this truth, see, when you go to Tattvadarshana, the result should also come. No, you go to doctor, you become cured. So what is the result of hearing to Tattvadarshana? You will know that all living beings are but part of me. Everybody is my part and parcel. Okay? And they are in me. And they are mine. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is inside Krishna. Because the whole universe is also Krishna in one way. and they are part of it. So Krishna says, you will understand their connection to me. Correct? If you hear a Tattva Darshana, so-called Tattva Darshana, and you don't understand this, then the result is not good. Correct? So Krishna says, this should be the result of hearing a Tattva Darshana, that I am connected to Krishna. Even if you are considered the most sinful of sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of misery. All the sins will be purified, burned, when you hear a pure devotee. This is the effect of that. So you are purified from all the sinful activity. As a blazing fire burns to ashes, O Arjuna, so that the fire of knowledge burns to ashes. All the reactions that you are here at Tattva Darshana, sinful activities are going on, nonsense. You have not heard a proper person. Correct? If you should be relieved from all the sinful activities, the result is going on. In this world, there is nothing so sublime as pure as transcendental knowledge. That's why the chapter is transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge and mature fruit of all mysticism. See, transcendental, it is not academic knowledge. It's a realization about something which you are not able to see. Correct? I am not seeing Krishna, but transcendental knowledge about Krishna, His name, His form, His qualities, His pastimes, is accumulating in the heart. One by one. Therefore, everybody should note down every day. You know, something you get, note down please. Because tomorrow, you can relish that. Therefore, it's a very important devotee should write. None of us practice that. Such knowledge and mature fruit of all mysticism. And when to achieve this, enjoys the self within himself in due course of time. Sometimes some experience also, somebody spoke something happened. You get some knowledge. Write down, please, very valuable. A faithful man who is absorbed in transcendental knowledge, who subdues the senses quickly, attains the supreme spiritual peace. Okay? So that is the result of getting a guru. But ignorant and faithless person who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain to God consciousness. Those people who doubt, always find fault. They doubt the scriptures, they doubt the saints, they doubt the Lord. Krishna is useless. You don't attain. Without faith, you cannot begin in any line. You say, from here I have to go to Hampangata. I say, take this verse. And you doubt that. What do? You can't even start. You have to apply practical faith. Correct? You have to apply practical faith. Otherwise you can't live. It's a disease to doubt. Okay? It's not that we follow blind faith. There is a difference between blind faith, practical faith, and skeptic who keeps doubting everything. What Krishna is referring here is that we should have practical faith. Don't be, skeptic. Ignorant, faithless person who doubt the revealed scriptures. There is no way you can understand Krishna unless you hear the scripture. Some Prabhupada told, you want to know who is your father, ask your mother. Somebody said if the mother lies, Prabhupada said, you are unfortunate, that's all. You can actually, by genetic testing also, still there may be somebody who matches still better. Maybe he has died. There is no end to it. So you have to believe your mother. So there is no way. Otherwise you are unfortunate. So if you doubt scripture, scripture is like the mother which tells about Krishna. If you doubt the scripture, which has been certified by so many great acharyas, who is the word of the Lord, then there is no way you can know anything about Krishna. There is no way. Therefore, one who has renounced the fruits of action, whose doubts are destroyed by transcendental knowledge, who is situated firmly in the self, is not bound by works, O conqueror of riches. And then last shloka. Therefore, the doubts which are arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. At the end, fight. That is his conclusion every chapter. He brings him at the end everywhere, now fight. Last chapter also. Okay. Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.